I think your analysis was very straight-lined. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing frogs.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Tomorrow, Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
the
an
Chinese
erratic
Mickey
detective
Rodriguez.
is Mickey Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? No. Girl, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Kingdom, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hi there. Good evening, wherever you are. Good night, good evening, good morning. This is the Friday edition of the Freddie Kissoon Show, and as you know, every Friday is call-in, in which we ask you to share your thoughts, viewpoints, opinions, adumbrations, whatever your preferences, your biases, whatever is inside your mind that you think you should be given an opportunity to express, but with respect to other people's feelings and respect to the laws of libel, please feel free to do so. This Friday evening edition, we do not censor calls. We will cut you off as we do with some people who are very stupid. There are all kinds of people in this world. Last week somebody called and said something very nasty. But that's the nature of Homo sapiens. So call in and let's talk. There is so much about Guyana that could be said, could be debated. So I will wait for your calls. And before I do that, there are things that I would like to put forward to you to discuss with you. And based on that, I hope I'm able to extract some reaction from you. So let's start with the asininity, the stupidity, the idiocy of the mayor of Linden by the name of Sharma Solomon. There was an unfortunate shooting to death of two persons. I don't think anyone would just rush and defend the police shooting people. They always should be a last resort. But on the other hand, you can't rush up to a policeman with a cutlass. I do not know exactly what happened, but I will err on the side of caution on the role of the police force any part of the world. Just exhibit extraordinary caution when you have a gun in your hand. The unfortunate deaths of two persons resulted in violent eruptions on President Ali, which is the man's forte. And I keep saying, we have not seen a president like that, not Jagan or Burnham. There are reasons why Jagan and Burnham did not do what President Ali is doing. It's different personalities. Ali could lose himself in a village game, in an entertainment event in the village, a village circus or a village party, and he could lose himself among the people. Jagan and Burnham would go there and greet them. There are different types of personalities, and I think Irfaan Ali really, really stands out as a different leader. Globally, comparing him globally, you just study his déportement, French word. Some people pronounce it deportment. It's not deportment. It's like the French word rapprochement, meaning friendship, renewed friendship, or two enemies coming together to talk. It's rapprochement, not rapprochement, although it's the last four words is MENT. So déportement, DEPORTMENT, déportement, not deportment. Just study his déportement, and you will see he has this uncanny ability to make you feel that this is a president we can relate to. I think for that reason, President Ali, but I don't want to say, I'm sorry, there are many reasons why I think he will be re-elected, but that is going to be a major reason when people decide to put their ex. They're going to say, man, this guy, give this guy another term. This guy is all right, man. This guy, I don't think this guy is a dirty-minded, deceptive person. So, let me take a drink of water. So, the president went up to Linden to try to tell the Lindeners, I'm your president. I don't agree with what happened. I sympathize. I will do my best to see that things are straightened out. We get to the bottom of this, the wrongs and rights of this. So the man went and shook people, and the man is the president, a democratic president whose democratic manifestations could be compared to any in the world, more than the president of France, more than the president of the United States. So Germain Figaro, the PNC's member of parliament for Linden, shook the president's hand. Sharma Solomon, that fool. Now I'm calling him an idiot and a fool. And if he wants to sue, he can sue. And we will argue in court if a mayor of one of the major cities in Guyana did not behave idiotically in refusing to shake the democratically elected president of Guyana in a situation where it called for a handshake and friendly discussion. So he refused to shake the president's hand. Obviously, I'm giving you now my interpretation. I think he knows what happened to Germain Figaro. He knows what happened when Figaro refused to shake the president's hands, and opposition leader Aubrey Norton demoted him because Norton feels should be the policy of the PNC, because he as leader refused to shake the president's hand, and others should follow. Leonard Craig and I keep saying on this program over and over, Black people should watch at their leaders. Watch at their leaders meticulously, keenly, relentlessly, with a fine-tooth comb. And you will see the deception. Now, Solomon refused to shake the president's hands because election is coming up and he wants to be in the limelight. He's afraid if he shaking the president's hand, he may get demoted. But let me tell you what Aubrey Norton did. Let me tell you what Aubrey Norton did if you're an African Guyanese and you're listening, or if you're a supporter of Norton's attitude of not shaking the president's hand. Let me tell you whose hand Aubrey Norton shook. And you will see where these people, they don't deserve your endorsement. Aubrey Norton and the PNC and the AFC have a policy toward the 2020 general elections. They said that the PPP is an installed regime installed by the United States of America government at the time. So they don't recognize it as a legitimate government. Aubrey Norton and the PNC and the AFC continue to say that this government was installed into power. They did not win the elections. And the United States favored them and installed them in power in 2020. But do you know whose hand Aubrey Norton shook? Let me explain how the United States Foreign Ministry run. We call it in India, Guyana, elsewhere, Foreign Ministry with a foreign minister. The United States Foreign Minister is called the Secretary of State. They don't call it Foreign Minister. So let's stick with what the Americans do. The Secretary of State is the Foreign Minister. And the Secretary of State is the leading man in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the whole world. But guess what happened? Because the United States is so large, like China, Brazil, Russia, they have a whole dozens of deputies. So Brazil, China, Russia, Indonesia, they would have a series of assistant foreign minister or deputy foreign minister, somebody below, or a number of dozens of people just below the minister, because of the amount of ambassadors the country has and the largeness of the world, that they have to have a person looking after the interests of China or the United States in these different parts of the world. So you have the Secretary of State. And when was our election, his name was Mike Pompeo. The United States have dozens of Deputy Secretary of State. They don't call them Deputy Secretary of State. They call them Assistant Secretary of State. And what do these Assistant Secretaries of State do? They are the deputy for different regions of the world. So the United States has a Deputy Secretary of State for Caribbean and Central American Affairs. The calls are the priority, so let's take the call. But I want to get back to the nonsense of Sharma Solomon. Good evening. Lost that call. So the United States has an Assistant Secretary of State for Southeast Asia, Assistant Secretary of State for Latin America. Good evening. What is wrong with this phone? I don't know. I'd have to ask our operator to come in. It was working this evening. Good. So the United States have Assistant Deputy Secretary of State, Assistant Secretary of State for Central Europe, Assistant Secretary of State for Southeast Asia. So at the time when the PNC said that the United States was manipulating the elections to put the PPP in power, you had an Assistant Secretary of State for Caribbean and Central American Affairs. Now, if the United States was manipulating the election to install the PPP in power, it would not have been the day-to-day groundwork of Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State. He has a deputy for Caribbean Affairs. So he would tell the deputy, look, you do the thing there, right? Guyana got an election. We want the party in power. Arrange it. That is not commonsensical. He is the man for the whole country, and he has a deputy that looks after his interests all over the world. So if something is happening in Central Europe, He has Assistant Secretary of State for Central Europe, and he would call him and say, you look after things there. So, if the people... Let's see if something is wrong with this phone. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Freddie. Good night. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good night.
Good night.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. In your preamble, you got it wrong. You said that Figaro didn't want to shake President Ali's hand.
I didn't say Figaro.
He
No.
on that.
No, you were.
That.
So, excuse me.
No,
You
please,
want?
please.
Excuse me, sir. You weren't listening. I said Figaro shook the president's hand. It's Sharma Solomon that did not shake his hand. You weren't listening properly, sir.
My friend. No, I'm assuring you when you play your video replay.
I'm talking about Sharma Solomon.
It's a mistake. That's all I'm calling to tell you.
Figaro
If
shook.
you just agree to what I'm saying, take care. Good night. Bye.
Okay, thanks for telling me that. Figaro shook the president's hand in Linden. It was Sharma Solomon that did not. I thought I made that clear. That if I made a mistake, I apologize, and I thank the gentleman for saying that. Good. So the Assistant Secretary for Caribbean Affairs came here and met the leader of the PNC, Aubrey Norton, and Norton shook her hands. It had, according to the PNC's beliefs and logic, it had to be that lady who spearheaded the installation of the PPP. It was not Mike Pompeo, because Pompeo has a deputy for all parts of the world. So he would leave the United States business to his Assistant Secretary of State for those regions. So this man refused to shake President Ali's hand, but he shook the hands of the person that installed President Ali. Now, does that make sense to you? I'm asking you if that makes sense to you. If he is consistent and if his thinking is rational, he would have said to the lady, I can't shake your hands because you manipulated my country's election and my party should have been in power. I can't shake your hand and I can't shake the hand of the person that you put into power in Guyana. But he shook the lady's hand and had dialogue with her. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Yes, sir.
A very good evening to you, sir. I have some things to raise, just to highlight some things. And I got my first thing first, tax return in our country. Now, when you do a tax return, I'm doing tax return for over a number of years now, over 15 or X amount of years. It could be less, it could be more. Tax return. Does it don't get back no kind of money from tax return, or it's just they just take your tax and do what they want to do with it, or whatever. That's one. When I mean there's one, I just wanted to know from some viewer, somebody, some high person. Usually, this is a very good program where that people should be taking notes and hearing persons and people concerned, right? This is one of my concerns. I pay my taxes, up to date taxes. When I mean pay my tax, because I don't want nobody in the long run so that I got 3 years or 5 years tax to them and they put on a big jump for me. I clear off these things. But in that thing, you ain't got a way that you could get back something that you're paying. This one. As I said, that I'm a neutral person. I'm not a politician. I don't want to be any. But where good is good and where jail. I love that. I'm not a senior citizen. But here why I love that. I respect my elders. These people that resigning at 55 years of age, these nice senior officers, they got good senior officers. But they got a police force and other places. They should be in a program guiding these people that are in this position. Right? These senior people should have been in some kind of institution to guide these other public servants how to better the system. But I want to commend the government for the NIS where they put on what people can't make and a lot of forces. And this could extend to something else, but I got two more things to say, and I want to say quick. But the NIS is really powerful. That I salute. I salute the government for that. However, we got something still going on, and the old people still need some help, right? So I'll talk about it another time. I know you're talking about the murder in Lincoln, but I am not addressing nothing about that. These youngsters that run and getting and robbing people, we need help in this area. We need help in our communities, and I come back to our community development program. Our youth, look what's going on. The eyes of the world is in Guyana, upon Guyana. We got current institutions that training our young people. Two young persons, 15 and about 22 years, gone down. We lost two soldiers. Two soldiers were going to rob people when they should have going in the supermarket to buy something for Kayum for the family. And mad. But we need to do some more groundwork. We need to do some night work. The Ministry of Communities have to open a part of the ministry for persons of the community to come into them and give them ideas how to mold the community, how to get people drugs up and drugs up, and prepare them for the future. Now, I know this is a great problem in our country. This is the last one I got on it. Now, as I said, the eyes of the world is upon Guyana. I don't know who's responsible for this area at all. We got some vagrants inside this country. I don't want to say mad people, but it's the truth. I don't know who's responsible for taking these people off of the road or off of the street of Georgetown and wherever it is. But we need to build an institution. We need to get people and prepare this country. If we want this country to be the next Dubai and the next one, we gotta start from the groundwork. I don't know who's responsible. You can't get these mad people up and down to the market and running people to market, you like a restaurant, and they're running in these markets and the skin and they're all over like them. Who's responsible for these areas? Anyway, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Your last point. Your last point really need to be reflected on by the authorities. I go to the seawall, and you should see the amount of people that go to that place because it has been beautifully landscaped. And you should see the 30 vagrants that's sitting on the benches, and when they leave, people would know and go and sit in the same bench. There is a lady there that really smells and brings all kind of old clothes and old food and put it on the bench. Anyway, so thanks for coming through.
Wait, I just want to raise this, and I'll raise it now. Here, why? I wanted to know who's responsible, right? Not only for vagrants. There are these senior persons that need help. How you could get them into the palm. I wish a person could come to this television station and help our people. Our people need help. There are senior people in home that need to remove from the home and goes to
Okay, bye-bye. Yes, so until the phone ring, we will continue with Shama Solomon and his refusal to shake the president's hand. And I am contending that I think Solomon was fearful that in the election coming up, if he didn't parrot what Aubrey Norton did, he may face the fate of Jermaine Figueroa and be demoted because shortly after Figueroa was removed as shadow minister, of course the PNC would say they had no connection. Of course it did. So Shama Solomon, the mayor of Linden, refused to shake the president's hands. And sometimes you wonder, when Leonard Craig comes, Craig is very articulate. You need to listen to Craig. He's one of the future for politics in this country. Craig always belabor the point, and that's because they cuss him down, because as a young African, he points out that, look, who are these people that you are putting your support in? Now, we have an election coming up in which the country of Guyana has the following demographic breakdown. Indians 39%, African 29%, mixed race 19%, Amerindian 20%, a few give and take a few percentage. How you could just be so stupid and preach race and preach ethnic politics all your life, and then stupidly go and contest an election? How are you going to win? So Shama Solomon is going to be in the PNC's list, and he expects people going to vote for a man who refused to shake the president's hand when the president went up to save lives in Linden and quell a violent eruption, and the man did. The man went into Linden, spoke to people, and that was the end of the violent revolt. And he refused to shake the man's hand. You know, he refused to shake a very popular president's hand. What? Well, if president, you know, I write my column every day in the Chronicle, and many times I say to people like Henry Jeffrey, who talk about liberal democracies in Europe, and there's a guy called Bernard Ramcharan, who writes for the Starbuck News. Where the Starbuck News get these people from, God knows. I'm not a believer, but God knows. That write about the democracies in Europe. Tell me which European prime minister or president is more democratic than Ali. Certainly not France. Certainly not the Chancellor of Germany. We don't kidnap for, excuse me, we in Guyana do not kidnap people that come here illegally, round them up around 2 o'clock in the morning and deport them. Ashma John, the daughter of the famous Mr. John who owned Splashman's and the Ashman building during the election, she wrote that in a column for the Starbuck News, living in Germany. That is secretly going at midnight in the wee hours of the morning, pick out people and deport them. President Ali would never do that. I am saying Irfan Ali as president would not accept security forces going to people's home where those Brazilians and Venezuelans live at 2 o'clock in the morning, bundle them in a jeep and drive them to Tamari and deport them. Germany did that a few months ago, last year during the Palestinian protests. President Macron behaves as a dictator. When he wants a bill to be passed, he passes it once Parliament is debating it. He passes it through his constitutional power. Do you know what President Trump is doing? The government of the United States picking up people, kidnapping people. What is democratic about President Trump. And show me then, let Henry Jeffrey show me which other prime minister or president is more democratic than Afan Ali. But you know why they wouldn't tell you that? They want to fool you. They write every day in the papers. They come. Good evening.
Good evening. Good night. How are you doing, Mr. Kissoon? Everything all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hear you talk about this upcoming election and everything, right? Yeah, it's nice. You understand? We are prepared. We are well prepared for it. And what I want to tell you is, me just tune in and me they hear you. They talk about this guy. Well, refuse to shake the president's hand. And I'm nothing. If they don't want to shake the president's hand, there is nothing.
Why did you say this guy? You should say this fool.
Yeah, but you see, if people said that, you would have said, watch what you're talking.
No. I'm concerned with cuss words. But to call a person a fool is quite acceptable in journalism.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Well, actually, them fool them. They say they'll never bring down the president. They'll never bring down the president for not having nothing and all the rest of them. Why refuse to shake him hand? The man was so kind-hearted and loving. He extended his hand to shake them hand, right? And if they refuse to shake him hand, you don't even imagine the shit what they got in their heart.
But this is what I'm telling you. This is the language I'm telling you to avoid. Avoid that language, please.
Okay. If you know the nasty thing that they have in their hearts with human beings, them is real racism, you know. Them is real racism. And let me tell you something. Watch how much Ali invest. Time and love, right? Time and love in Linden, right? And watch what happens. Watch the payment where you get. But there is still some real nice, clean-hearted Lindeners that still love us. You understand? Love Ali. And you will see it's going to remain like that. Now we hear one of them, prophet. He brought a shoot in some incident. I'm not going to really follow up too much with this situation. Me hear the man say he is a prophet. You understand? Me know that he got prophet in this country. You know? Well, when I studied this thing, I said that if this man been a prophet, why can't I resurrect the people them on their shoes?
They got profit in Guyana. Profit. Profit. Profit you get from investing in business.
Yeah, for me, I know people become prophets. Here what has happened. This dope for people that smoke, they got to stop. This thing that make them run mad. Them people is something that must call you jackass, just so they must see one human being pass in front of them. One see you and let you on jackass. You understand? For nothing that must call you jackass, you're still a human being and say, you dope. One of them see themselves that you're a prophet. You understand? This thing, them people has got to start, like talk to themselves. Stop them madness and you come to your senses for it. You understand? One of them asked me if me go vote for Mohammed. I said, why I got to vote for the Mohammed for? And me, I see good things happen in the country. Watch how much good things happen in this country. What we must see because the Grange have been telling me 2015 that you go do this, you go do that, me vote for, and you do not. Now me see PPP do so much things for me, not concern what the rest come and tell me that they go do, and what they not go do, and what me not care, me not concern. What this government does, we go stick to that.
Okay.
God, if you got a nice, you have a nice day.
Okay, you too. Hello? Yeah, good evening. Could you speak up a bit?
Yeah, this avenue, the government built on Lemahar Street, on Albert Street, going to the road.
Yeah.
Why they don't really, the tolerate Sakosia drivers. They're not going up to Lemahar, they're taking that and racing going up there.
I don't think that, look,
Hello?
the past the past hundreds of years, you come up with things based on research. What the government need to do is put in some cameras and examine the cameras after 3, 4, 5 months or a year to see how it's being used. And if it's not being used, then you change the purpose of the avenue. I have to pass there every day. I pass there to come to the studio this evening, and I have to pass there to go home.
That's what. Now, Sandy Bob Street, where the government fixed some people that want to sit down. Turn a big park for the hardware store, the truck people, and shop, and everything there. Just looking into those things. The people that are around here don't have no activity here in Sandy Bob Street I'm speaking about. By the Muslim march there.
I know Sandy Bob Street. I drive through there often.
The hardware store dumping sand and bagging it up. There's a mechanic shop, there's a wash bay. The residents that live around here have no activity there with that. The government will to give them
Okay then.
Cars them cannot drive here as a racetrack because an avenue that people won't sit down or people could go and walk. When they hear a big accident happen, then you'll hear another thing. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thanks for coming through. Good. Hello? 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 Missed those calls. Yeah, so let me go back to some of the issues I wanted to raise. On this program. I started with Sharma Solomon refusing to shake the president's hand. These are the very people that we're supposed to vote for. That you're supposed to have a consensus candidate between the AFC and the PNC, and no doubt people like Sharma Solomon will be. Good evening.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Well, I do. I don't forget the Sharma Solomon thing, who I think is a jackass. During NORAD services in Guyana, I would have noticed the president, my president, your president, the best president Guyana would ever have, visit some of the mandirs. And when I looked at the derogatory, nasty comments coming out from some Muslim people about him, that he shouldn't be attending these functions, it hurts my heart. It hurts me badly to know that that we as Guyanese have this amount of division, if I may.
But stop there. You got to be careful what you read on Facebook. For example, if I want to make mischief, I could just go on Facebook and say, I'm a devout Christian, and I don't think the president should be going.
I actually responded to two of them, Freddie, and they were both Muslims and certified Muslims.
Okay.
I can assure you
Okay.
that. As a matter of fact, I can send that to you to your email because I have the email address. And as a matter of fact, I climb into both of them, calling them the epitome of classes. And both of them refused to respond to me. Are you there?
Yes, I'm listening to you, of course.
All right. One of them is Imtiaz Muhammad, and one of them called, at this moment I can't remember.
Are they local? Are you sure those people are genuine, right?
They're absolutely genuine. I can assure you. I went through to their, I went through to their profiles.
And they're
Right.
local base or diaspora?
Local people in Guyana, yeah. One of them called the president a mortad, which means he's a disgrace, right, of attending a Hindu function.
Well, why would you come across as a serious man who believes in right and wrong? Why would you bother with those kind of people? It takes up your time, it irritates you, and I think they achieve what they want to achieve.
If we stay quiet to it, it means that we'd allow them to spread this false narrative.
But most people know the extremists, the lunatic fringe when they see them. When you go on Facebook and you see these things, you say, look, you just pass them. But I guess.
Well, think about me, right? I mean, think about me, and you know me. The problem with me, I have a shortcoming where I cannot stay quiet to certain ignorance or arrogance and shortcomings coming from people, and maybe I need to adjust on that, but I don't know how to adjust.
Well, I will give you some advice as for somebody who I entered politics when I was 16 as a polling agent for the PPP. And I've been a columnist for 36 years. You respond to people that you know have some traction, like there are some extreme African racists who want to manipulate African Guyanese. But you know who they are. Some of them are university lecturers. Some of them are well-known, maybe engineers, what have you. And you can't let that go. I could name some of them. Henry Jeffrey, Vincent Alexander, some of them. But when it's some unknown person that then got nothing to do and they just go on their phone, I think you ignore those kind of people. Because they don't have the traction somebody like a Vincent Alexander or
Well, the thing about me, Freddie, is that I would respond to it because I'm looking at it as not as a Hindu, Christian, Muslim thing. I'm looking at this as an Indian thing. And again, I apologize if I sound like an idiot here.
Okay.
I'm not hearing.
I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Again, I apologize if I sound like an idiot. I'm looking because these guys that are responding are people like myself. They might be Muslims, but they're Indians. And it hurts me to see the amount of arrogance coming out of them. I looked at that short video clip of Sharma Sullivan refusing to shake the president's hand. And sorry again, you know me. This thing gives me a high blood pressure. I don't know.
Now you better take some advice to somebody who's been around longer than you. You better don't let what people say. I mean, if you know for the past 4 or 5 decades what people have said about me, I would have been dead and buried or been a madhouse if I bothered with them.
Again, I'll reiterate. You probably can handle it better than me because I know what you passed through.
I don't give. Let me tell you something.
I followed you most of my life.
Let me tell you something.
I cursed you. I liked you.
Let me tell you something.
I cursed you again, and I liked you. And I'm
Charandas and I
like you.
Charandas and I today were walking at the Starbucks Market Square. Charandas was going to buy some fruits. And people start to say all kinds of things. And I tell Charandas, I said, Charan, I walk in this place for the past 10 years, and you get that, and you have to expect that. And they call and said, Charan, you're traitor. Freddie, you're traitor. And I heard it so many times. And Charan,
I have to make an apology to you tonight, not to you directly, for the president of Guyana, who's presently the president. I actually cursed him. I actually did not endorse him when he was nominated or elected, selected, or whatever as presidential candidate. And Sir Irfan Ali, Dr. Irfan Ali, today I apologize because in my mind you're the best president Guyana ever had, or Guyana ever have. Sorry. And well, we don't know what the future holds, but I know in my record, in my recollection, you are the best president Guyana ever have or had. Thank you very much. side.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good. 231-29. Good evening. Hello? Yes, yes, sir. I'm not getting. Come again, sir. Come again. I am not hearing you well. No, you're breaking up. Okay. Okay, anything else? The gentleman said the president announced a bag of fertilizer for every farmer, and he wants to know what the president is doing for the fishermen. I guess the fishermen's co-op has to make representation. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. There's a lot of noise in the background. Hello, yeah.
Good night, sir.
Good night. So go on. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Please go on.
Okay. I agree with the last caller. The amount of stuff he talked about the finale. Hello?
So you got to tune down your TV or your phone. I am hearing what I said in the last caller, so I'm not hearing you properly.
Wait then. Okay. Yeah. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Right. I agree with the last caller concerning Infernali. He's doing a great job with the country, and the PP will win again this election coming, you know.
Yeah,
you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go on. I'm listening. All the viewers are listening.
Right. I agree with the last caller.
Yes, you said that before. Right, sure.
Right. The PP Civic will win the next election coming.
Yes, sir.
Right? Infernali is a very good president, and he will continue to do good for Guyana. We have to pray for him to stay strong and carry on the country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Hello? Hello? Something happened with that caller. So good. 231-2982, 614-5927 is my cell phone. My email is quite simple. Fred Kissoon, one word, FredKissoon, Fred Kissoon at yahoo.com. Just send me an email and send your comments. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to know if Azurin running for the president.
You heard that?
Yeah, that's one of it's true.
But I can't say it, so I don't have a smartphone, so I'm not on Facebook. I don't know that.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay. Good evening. Hello? Hello? So let's continue. Two things I wanted to talk about was the Shama Solomon thing of not shaking the president's hands. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Kissoon.
Yes, sir.
Can you turn up the volume a little, because we are not getting you on the cellular.
Well, okay, I will do that. I will do that, but it's the same volume all the night. Okay, sorry, thanks.
Yep, for that.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Freddie?
Yes. Yeah, go on. Oh my. Hello? I guess these things happen. I will try to think my volume. Oh, my volume is right up, so I don't understand that. My phone volume is to the highest. I hope you're hearing it. Please call me and tell me if you're not hearing. I think the operator says it's going all right. So good. So 231-2982, and that's my cell number 614-5927. So let me continue while we wait for the calls. I mean, I normally have a number of issues I like to throw out to you. And I think we've discussed the Shama Solomon thing about the handshake. And he is following Norton. And I did say, if you joined the program late, that it started with Norton. Good evening.
Hey, good night, Mr. Freddie.
Good night.
I want to know something, right? If someone gets sanctioned by the US or raping treasury over 50 million US per year, and they cannot renew their gold license, and they cannot do a lot of various business, right? Please help me to understand. They still could run for presidency.
Well,
A lot of guys are getting confused.
Well, you could only be prevented from running for the presidency if you're convicted. I'm not too sure. Even if you're convicted for a criminal offense, you could be stopped. That's people's democratic right to run for the presidency.
Okay.
Mr. Trump, as you know,
One more thing.
Mr. Trump, as you know, is a convicted felon.
I know. We know. Okay, one more thing, quickly. If an Ali, right, he come out a good school, and people must not forget, right, that the son of the soil and the champion of the earth, Mr. Barrett Jack there, that's the trainer for Irfan Ali. They have to give kudos to him too, you know. And another thing, these two police officers that killed the two little boy in Linden, they should go to jail if CPP want to get a landslide victory. Make sure they jail them and jail that police officer that killed Owen Barton in his bed. Make sure they get him jail and Lowenfield and all the other for the election. Make sure they jail those people before the election, and they would get like about 45 seats in parliament if they do that, okay?
Okay,
Thanks
sir.
to you and your viewer.
Okay, bye-bye. Good evening.
Good evening. I just want to make a point.
Yeah, make your point.
That man that didn't shake Mr. Ali's hand, he can match Ali's character. So when he went after there was his repetition. That's all I have to say.
And you had your say. Thanks. I hope we hear from you next Friday. Okay. Bye-bye. Well, you look around and time just flies. An hour is gone. So let's continue the conversation. What else is on your mind? We hope some of the complaints you have, people will act on them. So let me get into the Second thing that I wanted to discuss, in case you missed it, the first one was Sharma Solomon refusing to shake the president's hand, and he's taking his cue from Aubrey Norton. Aubrey Norton is the leader of the PNC. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How you doing? I want to make a point, Freddie. You see, on social media, right, sometimes you go through your day, you know, your free time, you're there, watch thing. You know, I see something that really upset me, you know. You see them Jamaican, this one is there on social media, cussing out the president and insult the parliament in this country. Them is supposed to do that. Everything what happened in this country, we got 6 waves of people live inside this country, and we go fix everything. They gotta look after their country. You understand? They should look after their country and their president and their parliament. You understand? They're not supposed to be insulting my president, we president in this country. I know what I'm saying. It is not a nice thing. You understand? I don't know if you got anybody who can do something about this. You know, when they do them things, when you see them things and you comment on them, and you make a comment, won't go through because the ERC say you can't, you know, you gotta be respectable. Yeah, we gotta be respectable. Who comment them trash what they're talking, but they can't be respectable. You know, this thing is a set up bullshit what they get in.
Watch your language, sir. Watch your language.
Yeah, but them got to watch them want to when them insulted. Them is foreigners. You understand? Them ain't got nothing to do with them. Jamaican don't have nothing to do with Guyana affairs. You understand? They don't even got to open their mouth and insult nobody in this country. They got to keep them things up for Jamaica. Let them try with them teaching Jamaicans what they got in their country. You understand? Not here. You understand? We got to look after we thing in this country.
But please don't abuse Jamaicans because a few Jamaicans said something on. I would hope you know better than that.
The first is a Jamaican.
But that doesn't mean you
know his name.
But that doesn't mean you should abuse Jamaicans. Jamaicans are very nice people.
But not that one though.
Well, you have stupid people all over the world.
Okay, my brother.
Okay.
It's okay. You have a nice night.
Okay. So let's move on to the second issue I wanted to discuss. And that is what Vincent Alexander said to me. On Monday morning, he called me and I did a column on what he said to me on the phone. He spoke to me on Monday morning and I wrote about what he said to me on the phone. In my column the next day in the Chronicle on Tuesday, of course, I did say to him, what you are saying to me, I will write about. And he said, right, you're free to write it. And so I wrote it. Vincent Alexander said to me, Vincent Alexander is one of the longest serving Africanist or Afrocentric or African rights person in Guyana, one of the longest serving. He's in his early 70s. He said to me he's not coming on this show anymore, on the Freddie Kissoon Show, because when he went on Facebook and he saw the comments, the Facebook viewership at the time when he went on it had 71,000 people. 71,000 people looked at the interview with Leonard Craig, myself, and Vincent Alexander. On that program, Vincent Alexander said that African Guyanese have a genetic defect that they can't overcome. It's part of their genes. They suffer from post-slavery trauma. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't see the comments on Facebook that people make. I know the comments were plenty on Vincent Alexander and what he said, and the viewership for 71,000. But he said that he's not coming back on the program because when he read those comments, they were abusive to him. well, I don't know if you're listening to this, if you can believe someone that's so well grounded in politics and have been around so long can allow the comments of what people say to shape his politics. No one can shape my politics in my life, period, based on what they say about me. I don't give a damn what people say about me because I know I have my moral values, my principles. I know I believe in right and wrong. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. And I know my conscience is clear that I do not commit wrongs against other people. I have my viewpoint and I enunciate my viewpoint based on what is inside my soul and my mind. If you do not like that and you say I am a jackass, I am ugly, Lincoln Lewis said I'm an ugly person. You think I really care? Except to say that I don't want to compare myself and Lincoln Lewis, but good evening.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I'm calling for Toronto.
Yes,
I
sir.
watched the video where your fan tried to shake the Linden mayor's hand. Why would he put himself so low? If the mayor didn't want to shake his hand, why would he shake the mayor's hand?
Well, he did. I think that's one interpretation. The other interpretation is that that man represents Guyana, and that man was saying to the world, I come here as your president to stop something going on in Guyana of which I'm responsible for. And I am as president, I'm above idiotic, asinine inconsequentialities, and I will do my duty to reach out to the citizens of which I.
Yeah, but sir, you know,
he's not belittling himself.
Extend your hand, person, and they refuse to take your hand. You should have said, okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Although he's the president, he's supposed to respect it. The mayor did not want to shake his hand. Why would he grab the mayor's hand and shake his hand?
Because he wants to make a point. You're a stupid person, man. Shake my hand. If you don't want to shake my hand, I will shake your hand. And I support him doing that. In the end, he shows the nature of his leadership. He shows that he cares. He shows that he is not arrogant. And he shows that he could rise above the stupid politics of small minds. That is how I think it will come across to people. And it certainly came across to me as he rose to the occasion. I saw it that way.
Outside perspective of every country that's in the foreign nation, if Trump was to go to shake a president's hand and they refuse to shake his hand, he'll walk away.
Well, he don't have to live.
Why?
Well, President Ali don't have.
Why would we make himself stoop so low?
But you see, that's
a mayor's hand that he has a problem with.
The problem you have, Saul, is you are putting your
I don't have a problem. I just have an opinion.
But in enunciating your opinion, you could have a problem. Let me tell you what's the problem you have. The problem you have is that you are using words that I think you believe convey reality. For example, he stooped low. Now, the problem you have is how you interpret words and how you interpret people's action. I don't think he stooped low. And why do you think he stooped low? Why do you think he stooped low?
I just felt that by grabbing someone's hand and shaking it when they don't want to shake your hand, you're forcing the person to shake your hand.
Yeah, but that's not an ordinary person. That was the president of the country. You have to contextualize too.
And the president should have stooped so low to grab a person's hand and shake it.
You're gone again interpreting.
If you want to shake their hand, he's going to shake their hand.
Right, well, you have your interpretation that President Ali stooped low, and I think you're entitled to that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just watching from outside perspective, and from a foreign country, I'm just watching a perspective where the leader of a country should not stoop to the people,
that don't want to see him.
So
Clearly, there's a problem with him and the government, right? And he should have respected the mayor's point where he didn't want to shake his hand.
but
The mayor clearly did not want to shake his hand, and he grabbed the mayor's hand and he shook his hand.
I think
The president should have been, okay, no problem, I understand. We have some issues, and we'll move past it.
I think
Don't get me wrong, I'm a strong PPP person, but I just don't like the way he's.
I think Ali will emerge if he's elected in October this year. Ali's going to.
He will win. Don't get me wrong. PPP will be in power.
Ali is going to.
And I understand that.
Ali is going to.
I'm accepting it. That's not the point. The point is we need to show leadership in the country, and we don't have a president that will stoop to grab a man's hand and shake his hand when he should not have to stoop that low to do it.
You keep it in your mind. He should not have done that, and because he should not have done that, you putting interpretation of stooping low. I am not sure people will accept that interpretation. So you entitled to your interpretation, and you have a forum here.
You have a forum here.
You have a forum here.
To the time on your show. I'm very strong PPP supporter. I'm from Lenora, and I have my opinion. Next question, if you don't mind.
Yes or no? I don't mind. Go on. Go. Go on.
Don't take it the wrong way, and please don't cut me off.
No.
Why is it that Barrett keeps attacking the Mohammed?
Why?
Just leave it alone. His current press conference that he had.
No, he was doing
good. He was doing good.
We wouldn't cut you off.
One reporter brought up a Mohammed, and then he went in depth to it. The PPP is a stronger crowd and does not need to ask a question about the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds is in court, and they should just leave it alone. But Barrett, it's like Mohammed is under his skin, and he just has to keep itching it.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. Barrett had no right to, or he had a right, but he could have been better off than to address the Mohammed statement. He should have said, listen, it's before the court. I have no statement about this, and that's it. But he chose to scratch an itch that he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
China will do a lot better. Barrett needs to stop with the Mohammed. I'm not a Mohammed supporter, but he needs to stop about it and just go forward with the country. Do you agree with me, yes or no?
Pardon me? Well, you're allowed to have your opinion. The forum.
Well, what's your opinion?
The forum is open to you.
Do you think Barrett should not stop addressing it? If it's before the court, it should just be before the court.
Anything.
Mohammed should not be in Barrett about every press conference.
Okay, sir. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you very much for your.
Yeah, hope to hear from you next Friday.
Appreciate it. Give me the time.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, my second discussion for the program this evening, I've already dealt with the shake hand thing and the hypocrisy of Robbie Norton, that he shook the Assistant Secretary of State hand for Caribbean and Western Hemisphere affairs. The very lady that the PNC AFC said helped to install Irfan Ali, but he couldn't shake President Ali's hands. So the second thing now is Vincent Alexander. Vincent Alexander writes often in the papers and say all kinds of things about people. Vincent Alexander has been found guilty of libeling the chief election officer, Vishnu Prasad. Good evening.
Good evening, Freddie. Freddie, the president shake this man's hand because the president showed him that he is a different human being from him. You know, the president showed this man that he is a different person. He's not a person like him. You know, that's why he grabbed his hand and shake his hand. You know what? You know, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, you know what he did? Wash his disciples' feet, although he was the Son of God. show his disciple him. Now, it's not in I'm Jesus, but I could still wash your feet. You know, when you see them people, they say, darling, you see them ignorant people, and they say, like they ain't got nothing in them head, like they don't know what was said. You understand? But the last caller, I want the caller to know that Irfan Ali is a better man than that jackass who didn't want him to shake his hand.
Okay, sir.
Extend his hand to shake his hand, you know?
Okay.
So that is it, my brother.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Good, our time is going down. It's been a packed night. 231-2982, 614-5927. I don't know, one caller said that when he calls the cell phone, you're not hearing it very loudly, but I've been using my cell phone to receive these calls, and the operator says that they're hearing it quite normally, they're hearing it. So I don't know if that particular caller, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. But people call the cell phone and it's being aired and people are hearing it. So call my cell, 614-5927, 231-2982. I would like to speak on the other issue of Vincent Alexander. Alexander said he's not coming on the Freddie Kissoon Show anymore because when he appeared on the program and you look at the comments, people were abusive to him. This is a man who, for the past 30, 40 years, I've been writing letters in the papers, giving television interviews, and been saying all kinds of things. Vincent Alexander came on this program last Monday and ridiculed James Bond, a well-known politician, ridiculed the man. Vincent Alexander said things about the president on the program. And hello, yeah. So I don't know how you can say things that you like that for the past 30 years and you don't expect people to react. But there's something else. People react in all kinds of ways. They are stupid. I told Vincent Alexander when he called me that some people get on their phone, they have nothing to do. They wake up, they're bored, they probably whatever, their life isn't meaningful, and they just get on the phone and say, I you cuss down Freddie Kissoon, I you cuss down Vincent Alexander, and you take that in your stride, and you know, how could Vincent Alexander be around for so long? Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, I have.
You have to. Could you please lower your volume down? I'm hearing myself. Hello?
I have a few words to describe. What's the guy name? Sometime Solomon, Shameless Solomon.
Sharma Solomon, the mayor of Linden.
Oh, I think it's Shameless Solomon.
Okay. You've been
I have a
cynical.
word to describe him. He's a full septic tank.
Well, you see, when you do those kinds of things, you've got to expect people would say things about you. But I'm sure you have to take that in your stride and get on. People say the kind of things people have said about me the past 30 to 40 years. I just don't bother with it. So I don't know why Vincent Alexander don't want people to attack him. But I hope Sharma Solomon knows that.
If you do wrong things and you get, I told you, stupidness, then you deserve it.
Well, nobody deserves nasty cussing down, but you just don't bother with those people. Anyway, sir, thanks for coming through. Good evening.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Freddie. Once again, what happened to Monday night and Wednesday night? I didn't see you come on.
What happened to Monday night and Wednesday night? I should ask you what happened to you. I should ask you what happened to you. Well, if you didn't see it, could you listen to me, please? Could you please listen to me? If you didn't see it, something happened where you live or where you were. We had a show Monday night, and it had by Tuesday morning, it had 71,000 viewers. So you were probably in another world, sir. And the Wednesday program yesterday, and maybe it has gone higher, had 45,000 viewers. So I don't know what to say, sir. But we had a program Monday, Wednesday, and a very successful program. Thanks for coming through. Take care.
I got to check it out.
Okay. So why didn't you check it out before you come on the air and say you didn't see it Monday and Wednesday?
So I checked this morning. I didn't find it. Tomorrow I got to check it.
Okay. Well, he probably went on the however he uses his computer or his smartphone, he probably didn't get it. So you go on the Guyanese Critic Facebook page, or you look, it's on the screen. We're back on Guyanese Critic Facebook page live. Good evening.
Hello, Freddie. Good night.
Good evening, yeah.
Freddie, Alexander, I think if Alexander had got a passion like you in your time, I can recall, in your time, I think he would have been dead by now. Because the amount of passion that you have taken in politics, and you're still standing.
People, I went in jail for 3 days for traffic offense. People throw thing in my face.
I know that. I know that, Fred. He's always following you. Let me touch on Solomon.
My wife got dismissed because of me from her job, but life goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And you're still standing. And standing strong too, especially at your age. Solomon case. I know people have their different views and their different opinions. And people are, they're subject to their own choices. People make their own choices. And if he had choose not to shake the president's hand, for me, I see nothing wrong with that. But what I know had happened is that the little that he do know is that he brings out the best when he did that, the best of the president, and it shows the quality, it shows the country should see that what Solomon did brought out the best out of the president, one of his best parts of him, and to show that he's a human being, and he's completely different, and I always respect Mr. Ali, to be honest with you. I always respect him. Most of when I comment on his pages, I always, wish him well and comment good about him, because I think Ali is doing an excellent job, a real good, excellent job. We can't get away from it. It might not be to the best, but we are getting there. The point is that we are getting there, because, if a lot of people know where we actually came from and where we are today, but we're still in the little struggle, but we can see there's a lot of changes, and we can see that the president means well for us in this country. And he's putting his heart and his soul, and he's working very hard to accomplish all that he wants to accomplish for the betterment of the Guyanese people and the country. So don't let Solomon get you. We need more people like Solomon, to confront the president, because it needs to let a lot of people see the qualities of the president. And I do appreciate him for that. Not all of us would like people, to the best, because, we have a choice. We all have a choice. But it doesn't mean that we must resent them, because I know what you went through with a lot of people. Freddie, you never resent them or hate them, but you moved on with your life too. So I must compliment you. I think your show, and this is what a lot of people don't know through your show, is opening the doors for even the smallest man, as I like to say, even the ignorant, to raise his points and have a discussion. Freddie, good night.
Good night, sir. Thanks for coming through. Good. Time, you know what they said when I was small, I heard my parents say, you look over your shoulder and time has passed. I can't believe we are just for 10 minutes more to go. Let's have your views. Even the dull and ignorant must have their say. A society could never be free if we only cater for one set of persons, one set of views. If you like President Ali, you don't like him. If you're in the middle way, this program will not shut you out for saying you like the president, you don't like the president. That's your view. I would not cut you off if you say you don't like the president. You can be assured of that. I like the president, but I wouldn't. I happen to know him, and I know his qualities. But if you think he's not a good president or he's not doing, you will have your say. Just like how you say you don't like him, people would come on the program and say he's a good president. So everybody must have their say. So call in and have your say about anything you want to. The time is ticking. We have 9 minutes remaining. 231-2982, 614-5927. I was discussing Vincent Alexander, and it's so unfortunate that we would not have Mr. Alexander on the program anymore. Good evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello? Something is wrong. You're not coming through. You're not coming through clearly, sir. Hello? Hello? You're not coming through. We'll have to take another call. Could you call back? Could you call my cell number or try back again? No, something's wrong with that line. So let's hear from you, as we've got 8 minutes more to go. It is a pleasant Friday evening, and when it's 10 o'clock, we have to go. So we're nearing 10 o'clock, so please make your calls. I was talking about the unfortunate situation that we would not have Vincent Alexander on the program anymore. He said when he came on the program last Monday, when he looked at the comments, people were cussing him down, and he's not going to put himself through that. Which means, therefore, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Who am I speaking to?
Who do you want to talk to?
Freddie.
Pardon me?
Freddie.
Yes, you're speaking to Freddie.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Freddie. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I always try to do all right.
Well, I mean, people have different views of life, man. So you have to be careful about who is doing what and what they're doing. But I do know that
there's a lot of feedback in the background. Could you tune down your TV or your phone?
Okay, I'll call back.
Okay. Good evening.
Good night, Freddie.
Good night.
Coming back to Linden issue. Joamil Figueroa speak to the public in Linden. He said he has sympathy with the two guys that get shot, but he has to take care of the infrastructure in Linden. Don't burn bridge, don't burn road, because blocking the bridges will be critical for patients who are going to the hospital. The children, some of the Linden children, going to school in Georgetown, can't get home because the bridge burn. Now, they got a guy named Nigel London. He gets Figueroa back and saying that Figueroa siding with the president. And who is the hell Irfan Ali? These kind of things. They want to stir up corruption. These are the kind of guys you got in this tongue. Thank you.
I know, London. That's a man who's supposed to be a pastor.
That's right. Yes.
Well, and people, so he preaches the word of God. A godless man preaching the word of God.
Yes. Yes.
That's quite funny, yeah. That's like a, well, they got something when I was growing up. People used to say wayside preacher. I guess that term is still tenable. People still speak about wayside preacher. Do you know the term wayside preacher?
I know the term. And I hear it already over and over. Or I didn't ship to it and that kind of stuff.
I know the man. I didn't know the man until I was told to listen to a program in which he said that the colonials rigged the election in 2020 and put the PPP in power. For somebody.
You got to go back to history. You got to go back to history.
Anyway.
Lord, PPP track records.
Anyway, Saul. Thanks for coming through.
Yes, very good.
Our time is going. So the operator signaled to us that we have 5 minutes more. And from my watch, it is 5 minutes more to go. So let's hear from you. 231-2982-614-5927. Good evening.
Good evening. Good night. Genghis Khan said, hands is for shaking and for peace. Right, sir? Right.
Well, you heard that the guy quoted Genghis Khan. So that was an interesting one. Very brief, a quote from Genghis Khan. So as I did, phone calls have interrupted me, but the phone calls take priority. As I was saying earlier to viewers, one of the leading African rights activists, one of the leading Afrocentric person who sees things along the line of the interests of African Guyanese, won't be coming on the program anymore. And it's unfortunate that Alexander took that position, but it's also a very silly position to take for anyone that says they believe in changing people for the better, in fighting for people who they feel are not given the real what they deserve. And because some people on social media get on social media and cuss you down, you would not use the public forum to express yourself. I don't know. Hello? Good evening. Good evening, yeah?
The fisherman will complain about fertilizer has been given to the farmer. He just have to have some patience and wait. I don't know why he complained about that for. Immediately jump on it.
Well, so hello? Hello?
Yes.
He must, if he's a fisherman, he must say, well, look, what are you doing for fishermen? That's natural. You can't expect, he's looking after his interests.
Yeah, but you know something will come up.
Yeah, well, no.
Something will come up. Like one teacher in the interior complaint saying they should have already paid for this exam a long time ago. You know, things got to wait. They have to wait, man. Okay, take care, man.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good. We're just about 2 minutes more to go. So, as I was saying, we will not have Vincent Alexander on the program, but African Guyanese should talk to Alexander, and African Guyanese should speak up on this issue. Mr. Alexander went on a program that was broadcasted on Monday evening, and by Tuesday morning, there were 50-something thousand. By Wednesday, there was 71,000. By Tuesday, it was 71,000 viewers. It must be a lot now. How can you not want to use a forum in which so many people look at to give your viewpoints, to talk about African Guyanese, to say what is happening to African Guyanese? You will not do that anymore because when you went to the program, people cussed you down. But why you allowing those people who cuss you down to stop you from addressing African Guyanese, from talking to African Guyanese? So unfortunately, we will not have Vincent Alexander on the Freddie Kissoon Show. I'm very sorry that Vincent has taken that position. We've known each other a long time, and we've been in politics a very long time. We're the same age. Nobody's going to stop me from adumbrating, expressing, writing what I believe in my heart, because they cuss me down and say I'm a madman. Tonight on Facebook and on YouTube, hey, Freddie, you talking stupid. You could never be as great as Shama Solomon. And you think that is going to stop me anyway? Operator, signal that our time has come. I am going to count from 1 to 10. And if there are no calls, then let's call it George. So I will start the count. And by 10, no call, we are finished with this evening's program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Have a very pleasant weekend. We will see you on Monday. The Freddie Kissoon Show will continue.